Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Salías del templo un día, llorona, cuando al pasar yo te vi. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Hermoso huipil llevabas, llorona, que la Virgen te creí. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 de un campo lirio. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 de un campo lirio. El que no sabe de amores, llorona, no sabe lo que es martirio. El que no sabe de amores, llorona, no sabe lo que es martirio. No sé qué tienen las flores, llorona, las flores de un campo santo. No sé qué tienen las flores, llorona, las flores de un campo santo, que cuando las mueve el viento, llorona, parece que están llorando. Que cuando las mueve el viento, llorona, parece que están llorando. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 llévame al río. Ay de mí, llorona, 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 llévame al río. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío. Tápame con tu rebozo, llorona, porque me muero de frío.
As we light the chalice today, let us remember that we will always be walking through sacred moments, moments of transition, moments where the veil between worlds is thin. In this hour, let us celebrate the lives of those who dance in the beyond as we dance with them in the grand continuum.
In a spirit of reverence, we acknowledge that we gather this morning on the land of the Kumeyaay. As we light this candle, we affirm our commitment to cultivate meaningful relationships with the people of this land and to work together for justice and equity.
I invite you to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our opening hymn, number 103 in the gray hymnal, For All the Saints. The words are also on the screen.
Good morning, and welcome to the First Unitarian Church of San Diego, where we worship each Sunday in the South Bay and in Hillcrest and online. Our mission is to create community, nurture spiritual growth, and act on our values to help heal the world. I'm Armin Kuhlman. I use the pronouns he and him. I'm on the Board of Trustees. If you're visiting, I'd like to extend a special welcome. We invite you to fill out the visitor's card in your order of service and return it to the welcome table. If you're joining us online, you can also fill out the visitor's card on the link on the live stream page or in the YouTube service description. We'd love to connect with you. If you've been coming for a while and are starting to feel like this is your spiritual home, consider becoming a member of this beloved community. You can learn more about becoming a member at our welcome table or by contacting Valeria Aguilar, our membership coordinator.
Welcome to this space. Bring all of who you are in all the beauties of languages, cultures, and skin tones that come together in your uniqueness. You are welcome here. In all of the ways you experience and express gender, you are welcome here. In all the beauty that is who you love and how you love, you are welcome here. In all the ways you live, move, and experience your embodied self, you are welcome here. With all of the religious and ethical traditions that inform your spiritual life, you are welcome here. Together, may we live into our shared values with love at the center. Welcome. I invite you again to rise in body or spirit and join in singing our church hymn and reciting our church aspiration.
Vivir juntos en paz, buscar la verdad con libertad y ayudarnos mutuamente en comunidad. A eso aspiramos.
Beloveds, we pause at this time in our service to honor the memory of Peggy Hull, who died on Friday, October 24th. She was home with beloved family members, including her dog, and her end was peaceful. Margaret Peggy Hull was born in Elmira, New York on 18th of August, 1938 to Roland and Eleanor Tilton Davis. Peggy was a beloved member of this congregation for many years, together with her husband John, who died in 2023. When anyone was ill or having surgery or in the hospital, Peggy was the first to know about it and often first on the scene to offer support. And I wonder how many of us have received one of the super cards that she would create and then get everyone to sign. And God help you if you tried to walk past her without signing it, so that whoever was ailing would know that they were held with care. We will celebrate Peggy's life and share more of her story in early January. And I have with me this morning Peggy and John's son, Brian, who would like to say a few words.
I just want to say thank you from my sister, who's actually watching up in Northern California. But when we were going through her stuff, we found her registration card from 1973 for the Unitarian Church, and countless other things throughout the years as far as rosters and things like that. But they really regarded this as their second family. You guys were their extended family. We have a small, intimate family, but you guys are their extended family. From the ministers, from the Owen Tolls, through Arvid, through Kathleen and Justine, we totally thank all of you guys. And from all the men's groups, women's groups, committees, and everything like that that they participated in, it was a very large part of their life. And I just want to say thank you to all of you. I know they gave a lot to this community, but you gave a lot to them. Thank you.
We light this candle in Peggy's honor and memory, and to mark the weightiness of our loss, we extinguish the flame of our chalice, symbol of our gathered community, because our company is diminished by the loss of Peggy. And yet the light of this community continues, and Peggy's spirit lives on in the stories and the memories we share and the work we carry on in her stead. So from her candle, we relight our chalice. This community of memory and hope shines on, and Peggy lives on among us in the heart's long memory. In mystery we are born, in mystery we live, and in mystery we die.
Good morning, friends.
Good morning.
I'd like to invite any of the children or youth who would like to come up and join me for our time for all ages. I'll talk about that title in a minute. Hi, friends, come on down. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So today we're thinking about death, which is a tough topic to talk about, isn't it? And as you can see from the title of our book today is Death is Stupid. And I want to talk about that title for just a second, because stupid isn't a word we use a lot. It's not a word we definitely don't use when we're talking about people. That would be super mean and super rude. But sometimes there are topics that require strong language. And death is also challenging because it can be so painful and it can be so scary that sometimes adults don't know how to talk about it, especially when they're talking about it to younger people. And so there are times when we try to avoid strong language and be sensitive and use softer language or more sensitive language. And sometimes when we do that, we can make things worse. We can make things confusing or complicated or just sort of fuzzy. And so this book talks about just how complicated it is to talk about death, and especially when we think about younger people experiencing death. So here is Death is Stupid. When a loved one dies, I know exactly how you feel. People can say some stupid things. Don't cry. Just be grateful for the time you had with her. Even the people who care about you most may not know what to say. We lost her. Then find her. We can't, honey. She's gone. Gone where? Is she ever coming back? Every life comes to an end. She's in a better place. Death is not better. It's stupid. We just mean she's at peace. She can rest. And don't say stupid. Why can't she rest here with me and still be alive? Some people may try to help and make it worse. Now your grandma can watch over you wherever you are. Beliefs about what happens after death are personal to each of us. We all have our own ways of understanding and not understanding this mystery. Share your heart and other sources you trust. Search your heart and other sources you trust to find out what you believe, but beware of the lies. She's only sleeping. Come on, honey, time to go home. My grandma isn't asleep. She died. It takes courage to go on living when the one you love has died. Beautiful day. And to accept that death cannot be changed. Everyone eventually has an experience of someone who died, a member of their family, a good friend, someone they thought would live a lot longer, We did everything we could. I'm sorry. Your pain is not less than theirs. It's not more. It's not the same. You might be freaked out by the grief of those you depend on. My dad cried at the funeral, not the quiet kind of crying. It was the kind you can hear. My mom says to talk to Grandma in my imagination. I know what I would say. Grandma, you shouldn't have died. I still need you. Oh, honey, I know. Death is stupid. Grandma, you said stupid. Well, it is. If you have questions for the one who died, ask them in your imagination or write out loud. We don't get to keep everyone we love who has ever lived. But we do get to remember them long after their lives have ended. Keep your connections to those who have died and those still living. These connections make death less scary, and they make life more fun. The end. Oh, thank you. Yeah, friends, as the book says, it's hard to talk about death sometimes, and it's okay to not want to talk about it. But if you ever do, you know that we, your RE leaders, and those of us in the congregation are here to talk about it, and that goes for you all too. It can be tough for adults to talk about this stuff. And so we're here for you if you ever want to talk about it, and I hope that we talk honestly with each other, even about hard things. So friends, if you could do me a favor, up here, we're going to stand up, and we're going to lead the congregation in our affirmation. We'll say it first in English and then in Spanish. We are Unitarian Universalists, a people of open minds, loving hearts, and welcoming hands. Somos unitarios universalistas, personas de mentes abiertas, corazones amorosos, y manos que dan la bienvenida. And now I invite all of the children and youth who'd like to join me and their other leaders out on the patio.
A few announcements. Lay ministers are available after the service to offer a listening presence. If you have a joy or a sorrow you would like to share, this morning our lay ministers are Chris Smith and Brandon Hall, and you'll see them wearing the bright yellow stoles. We will have a campus tour this morning led by Liz Jones. This is a chance to see the many gems of the campus. Liz will meet you right up here after the postlude. And today after worship in Bard Hall at 11:30, you're invited to join the Contract to Call team to learn more about the process of deciding if we should call Reverend Kristen to be our associate minister. That would be to have her be one of the called ministers of this congregation. She's currently under contract. So you have the option of deciding to call her. And you can find out more about that process in the meeting after worship in Bard Hall. So join us at 11:30.
My little safety net. All right, so I wanted to talk about our association with the Unitarian Universalist, First Unitarian Universalist Church of San Diego, and it really begins with the Unitarian Universalist congregation of Eau Claire. In 1997, my father had his third heart attack, and I realized I needed a safety net. I needed a community more than just the people I worked with, as I was new at the university in Eau Claire. And I found the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Eau Claire. And it welcomed me as a person, as a whole person, as a gay person. It was at the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Eau Claire that my husband and I, Bob, first got married. And I say first got married because we later got married legally when that became an option. And we became involved. I joined the choir. I became involved in many other activities, the welcoming congregation committee, the board. There was a ministerial search that I was involved with. Bob became involved. He helped out, did some services. It was a welcoming community. And when it came time to retire and we felt that Eau Claire was not big enough for us, and didn't provide everything we needed, we thought about where to go. And we looked carefully for a place with a safety net. A safety net being a Unitarian congregation that we could feel comfortable and be ourselves in. And that was one of the things that helped us decide to move to San Diego rather than somewhere else. Okay? Knowing that we could find a Unitarian church, and we spoke with Steve Howard about what the church was like. Would this be a place that would greet us? Would it be our safety net? Because sometimes, you got to take that leap. And retiring to a city we did not really know people in, that's a big leap. And so we took the leap, and the safety net caught us. Before we even arrived, I found out when the choir rehearses. In fact, the first Wednesday we were here, we were at choir rehearsal. But it's not just that. I mean, the church, we talk about values and living out our values, and this church allows us to do that. We can be engaged. Engaged is not just the choir, it's Rainbow Action, it's social justice. Bob is heavily involved in the social justice executive team. You may know he does this social justice film series. You may have seen me out there ushering this morning. I feel welcomed. I feel not just welcome, but I feel that I can be involved, engaged. And that makes me want to support and help this be a safety net for other people. And this is why we're giving from our heart this year.
Thank you, Andy. So you're in luck. There is still time to make your pledge. You haven't missed it. Please do it today. I promise you, if you make your pledge today, you will feel really good. It will make you happy. And that's what we're going for, to make a gift that makes your heart glad, to support this community of faith that is so important to all of us. You can pledge online. You can pledge in Bard Hall by filling out a pledge card. You can talk to Sarah Ormond or to me, and we will gladly receive your pledge. One of the ways that we live our values in the larger world is that we share our offering each week with a local organization working for justice. Throughout the month of November, we are sharing our offering with American Indian Recruitment Programs, AIR. This is a local nonprofit that has been empowering Native youth since 1993 through mentorship, education, and cultural connection. This offering comes at a meaningful time. November is Native American Heritage Month, a time to honor Indigenous peoples, their resilience, their ongoing contributions. Supporting an Indigenous serving program like AIR is one way that we can turn that acknowledgement into action. You can give through text to give. The number will appear on your screen there. You can also donate this morning in person through cash or check. In the middle level of the sanctuary, there are boxes to receive your cash or checks. You can always give online at firstuusandiego.org. Thank you for your generosity. The morning offering will now be joyfully given and gratefully received. One way that we honor our grief and process the loss is to engage in embodied practices. So this morning we're going to we invite you to choose an element. You can choose fire or water. And in a moment I'll invite you to come forward and line up here for the water and over there for the fire. And you can light a candle and place it in the sand, or drop a stone in the vessel of water as a way of remembering one whom you have lost, one who has died. And as we engage in that ritual, Tomas will play some music, and I would invite us also to speak the names of those whose memory you are holding today. And so we'll just take some time, drop a stone, light a candle, speak the names of those we've lost. If you brought an object for the altar, you may bring that forward at this time. We have a table set up as an altar with pictures of loved ones. If you have some other memento with you, you may place that at this time. And hopefully we will avoid traffic collision in the process of this. So please come forward at this time. Mary Rose, Len Pelletier, John Holm, Benita Berkson, Walter Sullivan, Marianne Long, Margaret Fennell, Cecile Boyce, Jean Pelton, Jim Grant, George Fick,
Can I move this for, just close it for now, the whole thing? Each time I have the opportunity to speak from the pulpit in a sermon style, I always begin by showing this stole, which means a great deal to me. Many of you remember our wonderfully fabulous Reverend Jim Grant, and I'm so grateful to his kids who gave me his stole. There's a lot of emotion in this room. It's beautiful. I'm feeling it. So, dear friends, let me tell you a story that weaves through the very fabric of my life, a story that speaks of the sacredness of our transitions. When I was just a boy, 11 years old, peering out the window of my second-story bedroom, I saw a sight that etched itself into my soul. Across that beautiful Michigan field, my grandfather's self-propelled lawnmower was tracing an erratic, strange path. And then I saw him, my dear, beloved grandpa, lying on the ground. I ran, a child's heart beating down those stairs, dragging my father with me. We reached Grandpa, and in those final tender moments, my father, with a wisdom beyond his years, guided me. Hold his hand, he said, stay close. And I did. I held the hand of my hero, the man who called me Pee-wee, the man that I followed around like a faithful puppy. My father, in his quiet strength, taught me not to fear death, but to honor the passage, to hold sacred those moments of transition. Little did Dad know that he was preparing me for a calling to stand at the threshold between worlds. Years later, in the heart of the AIDS crisis, I found myself walking that same path with so many others. As a young denominational executive minister in Chicago, I witnessed the swift and cruel hand of that disease. We, a small band of 7 interfaith clergy, formed the first in the nation AIDS Pastoral Care Network. And in those early desperate months, before we were able to recruit and train some 200 other clergy, I was required to officiate at 42 funerals in just 6 months. I sat with the dying, holding their hands, witnessing their final breaths. And every time, my friends, every single time, a profound and inexplicable thing happened. A feeling would rise in my chest, a palpable shift in the very air of the room. It was as though I could touch the unseen, a sacred aura surrounding us. And I realized it was more than just deja vu. It was a mystery I couldn't quite grasp. For years, as it happened over and over again, I wrestled with it, wondering, what was I missing? There was a curious, familiar energy I couldn't quite put my finger on. Then in 1992, I sat with my friend Drew as he took his final breath. His wife and kids were with us in that room as he slipped away. That familiar feeling in my chest, that sacred aura, filled the room again. And then, in that moment, the light broke through. It was like a thunderclap in my soul. That feeling that I had inside, that aura of the room, was indistinguishable from the feeling I had inside and the aura of the room when I watched my sons take their first breath. Do you hear me, friends? The very same sacred presence that heralds the arrival of life also accompanies its departure. The same divine touch that ushers us into this world guides us as we leave. The same holy breath that fills the lungs of a newborn is the breath that stills in the passing of a saint. We are all walking through sacred moments, moments of transition, moments where the veil between worlds is thin. Let us honor them, let us hold them close, and let us remember that in every breath, in every moment, life and death are intertwined, held in the loving embrace of all creation. That realization reinforced my growing belief that the energy from which we come, the energy which we all are now, and the energy to which we return as these temporary bodies takes their last breath is all part of the continuing energy of the world, of the universe. That for me is the holy other. Earlier this year, I was granted a profound spiritual audience, a timeless interlude with our dear Benita Bergson, longtime dear member of this congregation that touched so many of us. I was with her in this time, talking with her as she lay under the care of hospice. We did not speak of endings, but of the thin, shimmering veil between worlds, discussing the magnificent transition that she was poised to make. Now, I've stood with countless others on the precipice of this sacred crossing, yet Benita was different. To witness her calm, her gentle curiosity, and most astonishingly, her unfettered, radiant joy was to be touched with a truth that transcended all grief. Her reflections did not just comfort, they reforged my very imaginings of life's ultimate mystery. Her voice was like an echo from the other side, confirming that the realms we perceive as separate are in fact indivisible components of the same universal miracle. Those conversations were a gift of comfort and awe that will resonate with me forever. All that as introduction to say that I've been studying the life and teachings of Baruch Spinoza, who lived from 1632 to 1677. He was a philosopher of Portuguese Jewish origin who was born in the Dutch Republic and was a forerunner of the Age of Enlightenment, having significant influence on modern biblical criticism, 17th century rationalism, and Dutch intellectual culture, establishing himself as one of the most important and radical philosophers of the early modern period. So lately, I've been totally immersed, as lots of former Baptists like myself are, in Spinoza, practically absorbing his philosophy right into my brain. It's not just the audacity of his break from the norm that has me hooked. It's a cosmic mirror to the universalist values that I've cherished since seminary days and to which we celebrate here. Also, it brings me back to my time with Benita, that wonderful mischief maker. Right, Barbara? We talked about this wild man, Spinoza, and we unanimously decided that he'd be perfect. I mean, you know, a philosopher who gets himself excommunicated, surely he'd be perfect for our social circle. And we thought for sure a charter member of First UU San Diego. It was great fun to talk about him with Benita. We even went so far as to brainstorm a few other ideas, shall we say, that were not theological in nature. We talked about that guy. Those conversations with Benita, well, just let me say, they involved more spicy, titillating fantasies than one usually talks about from the pulpit, so I'll just leave it right there, and you're welcome. So at Benita's invitation, let's open our hearts and minds today, drawing inspiration from this brilliant 17th century neighbor of ours, whose profound insights resonate deeply with our Unitarian Universalist values. Let us contemplate the universe not as fractured and finite, but as a single, boundless, and eternal dance of being. We often grapple with the concept of death, feeling and fearing it as an absolute end, a void that swallows us whole. But what if, as Spinoza suggests and Benita echoed, our understanding is limited by our finite perspective? What if death is not a sensation, but a transformation, a shift in the eternal dance of existence? Spinoza, in his Radical Monism, proposed that the universe is not a collection of separate entities, but a single, infinite, and eternal substance. We and all that surround us are modes, temporary expressions of this underlying reality, like waves on the vast ocean. Now, our denomination has inspirationally moved toward reflecting on our core values of interdependence, pluralism, justice, transformation, generosity, and equity, all centered around love, magnifying the 8 principles that we continue to celebrate. So let's bring Spinoza's radical, rebellious spirit into this room, shall we? His magnificent idea that the universe is one single eternal substance is not an old philosophy to us. It is the very beating heart of our Unitarian Universalism. It's the simple, awe-inspiring truth that makes our principles sing. If we are all one substance, how can we not affirm the inherent worth and dignity of every person? If we are all one dance of being, then justice, equity, and compassion are not options. They are the only way to treat ourselves. If the divine is the very fabric of reality, then our free and responsible search for truth and meaning is a holy quest into the nature of the universe itself. If we are one body, then a world community with peace, liberty, and justice is simply the state of health we strive for. And what is the interdependent web of all existence but Spinoza's whole cosmic vision made manifest? The principles are not rules for life, my friends. They are the ethics of being the universe momentarily expressed. They are the way the infinite shows up in the finite. When we live by these values, we are not just doing good. We are being the whole unified reality that Spinoza and Bonita knew us to be. So when we face the mystery of death, let us remember Spinoza's wisdom and Bonita's witness. Unlike the old Orthodox tradition that envisioned heaven as a separate transcendent realm, Spinoza offers a different understanding clearly in sync with our Unitarian Universalist values. We are not ending, but transforming, returning to the vast ocean of being, not as a loss, but as a continuation, a rejoining of the eternal substance. Where the old tradition spoke of a personal ascent to a divine abode, Spinoza reveals that we are already within the divine, which is the very fabric of reality. My friends, we are the universe momentarily expressed as ourselves. We are the universe momentarily expressed as ourselves, and we are forever part of its infinite and wondrous unfolding. Thus, death is not a departure to a distant heaven, but a return to the eminent, all-encompassing reality. The gift of being with my grandpa and so many others taking their last breath, and the gift of hearing my sons take their first breath, a grateful mystery revealed, one that Spinoza witnessed to, and his wisdom helped me to tenderly embrace, and to which our dear Bonita offered confirmation. Oh, dear friends, we have said goodbye to so many this past year. Our grief is real, often exhausting, because our love for them is so profound. In this time of remembrance, however, we acknowledge that our personal sorrow is intensified by a collective one. The passing of those we love is always deeply saddening, but it is magnified right now by the current fragility of our nation. As a community, we also mourn the wounds inflicted upon our shared belief in the common good and a future that feels less certain than it once did. This societal grief, a loss of security, civility, trust, and shared vision weaves together with our personal grief, creating a sorrow of unparalleled depth. Our personal losses are not isolated events. They are part of a larger tapestry of change and challenge. All of our beloved dead and more are with us now. All of our beloved dead and more are with us now. In these challenging times, holding each other close is more vital than ever. The waves of sorrow are indeed inescapable, but by leaning on one another, we find strength to navigate this difficult season. We find solace not only in our memories, but also in the commitment we make to one another and to the shared values that bind us together as a community right here, right now. And so let us awaken to a radiant truth. We are not merely separate individuals, but essential threads in the grand design, each connected to the boundless beauty and intricate dance of life. As we move forward together, hand in hand, may our steps be guided by justice. May our spirit overflow with compassion, and our very breath become a prayer for peace. For the peace, justice, and love we long for are not distant ideals we must struggle toward. They are the very essence of who we are, ready to be embodied now. May it be so. Amen. Blessed be.
Would you please rise in body or spirit to sing our closing hymn, number 1014, Answering the Call of Love.
Let us depart with these words from my dear friend, Reverend Micah Busey, who is the minister at Judson Memorial Church in New York City, where my husband and I will be next Sunday. A tiny prayer offered for the thin veil between worlds. Micah says, "May we open our hearts and minds to sacred memory today, reminding us of those who have come before us, those whose spirits hover around us still, those who will come after us, and cherish the gifts we will leave behind. May this opening not be frightening, but inspiring, telling us stories of where we've been, who we are, and what we can become. And may we deeply know that this unfolding is always available to us, no matter the day, no matter the season, if we will simply stop, breathe, and pay full attention to more than our fear. Amen.